Ladies and gentlemen, it's another episode of Pastors of Payne.
Yeah.
We are here in mighty and wonderful Stillwater, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's 10th largest city. America's friendliest college town.
Whoa.
America's brightest orange. The home of Oklahoma State University. I'm Father Brian O'Brien, pastor of St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church. I'm joined by mi compadre.
By or with?
I'm joined by.
By.
And with.
Joint
What
heir
is
in
your
the
name?
life of grace.
What is your name?
My name is Father Kerry Wakulich.
Yay!
Hey, I'm pastor of St. John Catholic Student Center, Stillwater, Oklahoma.
So you get it? So when I'm a pastor and he's a pastor, and this is the Pastors of Payne. Did you see that?
Booyah.
See what we did there?
Okay, I want to show you something real quick. I was nanoseconds away. I have my I forgot my coffee cup again in the studio, and so I had to go get a bowl to drink coffee out of.
Last time it was a paper bowl.
Yeah.
Which
So
was
I got a plastic bowl now.
A little bit of a disaster.
Okay. So I'm looking through the cabinet for something to sweeten it up because the coffee here is So some sugar.
Shh, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone at the radio station.
So I open a
Father Kerry
cabinet.
doesn't like their coffee.
Open the cabinet, and there's a box full of the little brown sugar packets that's like the natural stuff.
Yeah.
And so I grab one. I'm
not-
I'm so stoked. And I've got it like this.
Uh-huh.
And then I go to put it in my coffee and I turn it over and it says Olive Garden grated Romano cheese.
Well, that does look like a...
It looks like a brown sugar packet. And I wasn't looking close
That would
enough.
have been awesome.
And I was getting ready to open and I turned it over. I was like, why does it say Olive Garden on the front of the sugar packet? Maybe they got Olive Garden sugar, like those little sweet mints they give you when you go out. I haven't been Olive Garden in years. And then it says grated Romano cheese.
That would have been good in your coffee.
Uh-huh.
Well,
I'd have probably thrown
you know,
it
for Lent,
in
I
studio.
actually gave up putting cheese in my coffee. I made him spit. Yay! That's awesome.
Why'd you say that as I'm taking a drink?
That was awesome.
Okay, I got
So a blessed Lent to all of you. Something funny happened the other day. We're building here in Stillwater. We're building a rectory, which is the Catholic term for the home of priests.
Ooh, priest casa.
So we're building this home, and we're building it on the campus of St. Francis Xavier, but it's not the St. Francis Xavier rectory.
Yeah.
It's for the priests of Stillwater. And so I'm going to live there, and Father Kerry's going to live there, and then if we get priests down the road and seminarians, they're going to live there too.
Visiting priests, missions.
So Father Kerry and I have been talking about like a name. We want like a name for it. And we like to name things, especially after saints. So we've talked about a couple different names, and we haven't decided. We haven't quite decided
Ooh,
yet.
should we give them a
No, because I don't think we've decided. We haven't really decided yet. We're gonna Father Kerry and I are gonna arm wrestle, which maybe we'll do like live on YouTube or something.
Okay. Live on Facebook,
Would people
Live.
watch that
Arm wrestling to decide who
on Good Friday
gets to name the rectory.
So I forget where it happened, but anyway, somebody suggested that it be called the House of Payne. Payne. See, get it? Anyway, that's
I
funny.
said there was a church one time called the House of Payne, and there's also a.
Isn't there a workout place?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here in Stillwater, it's like a workout place called
The House of Payne.
Payne, Payne County.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I just thought that was
Okay, well,
it was really funny. Okay, so it's Lent. We hope your Lent is going well. If your Lent is not going well, here's I think something that happens to a lot of people each year, and that is you come into Lent with big plans. You come into Lent, and you say, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and then like it's Ash Wednesday. And then Thursday, and then by Friday, like it's all falling apart. and then we give up. We give up at that point. We say, "Oh, I said I was going to give this up, or I said I was going to pray every day, and there was a day when I didn't, and then we just give up, right? Pick it back up.
Yeah.
Get back on it.
So what we did, we made these. We did it last year, and then we did it again this year, called the Feed Your Fast cards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so we give them out every.
You did that again this year?
Yeah, every
good.
Sunday.
Okay.
And we took all your information off there because last year, it was one.
Yeah.
It was one Catholic.
It got awkward.
Yeah, and because
we moved during the middle of Lent.
Yeah, and so then So we made these feed your fast, and they have like little lines from Jose Maria Escrivá on them.
I love him.
Yeah, he's like, he was Twitter famous before Twitter famous. Like he's
Jose Maria Escrivá, he once said, "Oh, you think the mass is long? That's because your love is short."
Oh.
My other favorite line of his, I tell people this in confession a lot, where he says, "Do not say this person annoys me. Say instead, this person sanctifies me."
Wow.
I just love him. Priest crush.
Priest crush.
Saint Jose Maria Escrivá.
Yeah. He's a good saint. Ooh, maybe we should name our rectory after that. And then we'll have little quotes all over the place.
Casa de Escrivá.
Nah, and then we'll have like little quotes from him all over the rooms.
Over?
Well, maybe we'll just do that anyway, and then name it Sankari.
We could have one of the rooms. We could have one of the rooms named after him.
Oh, like Father Sean Don does up in Pawhuska.
All right, we'll work on that. That's still down the road.
Anywho, so we're doing those little cards, feed your fast, so people can this is what I'm doing this week, and I got a list of stuff, and this is how I'm going to pray. This is the time I'm going to give. Exodus 40 or Exodus 26, wherever we are in the great season.
Coming down, yeah,
we're counting down. So just start, and when people they kind of fall off their Lenten fasts, and they're like, well, I only gave up chocolate for Lent. Okay, well, let's pick something new.
Yeah.
Why don't you
do something difficult?
Why don't you do something and then
make no small plans?
But don't be a Pelagian. Remember, Pelagius is like, well, if I do all of this stuff, I'm going to grow in holiness. No, you're making room for grace.
Yes.
You're making room for grace. You're pulling stuff out of the garden, the weeds and the junk and stuff like that, so that the Lord can occupy that fertile soil with grace. And then things can start to grow in a life of virtue. So just take a vice. Somebody annoys you, you start praying for their salvation. Every time you see them and they walk in. It's hard to be
mad at someone that you pray for. It really is.
Well, remember when we talked about Paul Miki and his companions? When they're being crucified, you made mention of it.
Remind me.
When he's on the cross being crucified, he's telling the emperor to get baptized because the Christian life is the best.
Amazing.
Yeah, you said there was one generation after Francis Xavier.
Yeah, that's right.
And I made mention of that a couple weeks ago.
I love it.
Wow. Amazing. Okay, so what's on the?
Well, so it's Lent, and the season of Lent is a season of, the church would say, of prayer. Intensified prayer.
Go on.
Fasting.
Oh, I love fasting.
Intensified fasting and almsgiving.
Yep.
Being generous with time and treasure.
Yeah, because we have so much money, I just give it away.
You have money. Priests have money.
Yeah, we should. In Denver, we would when we were driving to and from the seminary, you go by all these homeless people.
Yeah.
We always had packages of stuff that we would give out. So you buy things and then you give them out to people.
Yeah.
And as along the way, that. Or you see, you tell somebody, hey, would you like to, I'll go in and buy you lunch. Oh, that would be great. Or you give away your time, which when we were at the Seek Conference in Indianapolis this year, some of the college students at OSU, some of these college students, what did they do? They went around and sat down with the homeless and just talked to them.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, can I buy you a cup of coffee? And the guy was like, no. And what was interesting, they brought back this, they told me this. Father, we met this guy, and he hadn't heard his own name said to him in almost a year.
Wow.
Because he lives on the streets and no one knows his name. Mm-hmm. So they asked him his name, and he just perked up. So you could give away your time by having like an intentional conversation with
giving. Yeah.
It's a way. You may not have money, but you got that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So in this season of Lent, we're coming up on kind of the midway point. Each of our parishes here in Stillwater are both having a parish mission.
Yeah.
We're actually doing it right around the same time.
On the same days.
So at St. Francis Xavier, the weekend of March 31st, and then into that week of April 1st, we are hosting a priest named Father Godfrey Mullen, who is a Benedictine monk from St. Meinrad Archabbey in southern Indiana, which also happens to be where I went to the seminary. So I know Father Godfrey well. I've known him for about 15 years now, and I consider him a great friend and a spiritual mentor. He is the rector of the cathedral in the Diocese of Evansville, St. Benedict Cathedral in Evansville, Indiana.
Nice.
And he's coming to Stillwater. Yes. So he's coming on that Friday. He's going to do a staff retreat, a little renewal for our staff. And then he's going to be preaching the weekend masses, Saturday and Sunday. And then he's going to be giving 2 talks. Well, I guess 3 talks. One will be the homily on Sunday masses. And then on Sunday evening at 7, that's March 31st, and on Monday, April the 1st, also again at 7 p.m., Parish Mission on the Call to Holiness. So I encourage everybody in Stillwater, Catholic and non-Catholic, everybody is welcome. We would love to see you there. Well, there'll be the talks in the evening and then a little hospitality afterwards.
Yeah, Father Michael Pratt, who gave the one at St. Francis Xavier last year, is going to come and do ours.
Ooh.
And he's going to be talking on virtue and vice.
Ooh.
Those preliminary steps
I love that.
to rooting things out. So
for all you college students,
that awesome stuff can grow.
Focus, get in there, and come listen to Father Pratt.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
So those are good. That's a good Lenten practice, that the idea of a parish mission. Maybe you're having one if you're listening from somewhere else. But I want to talk about prayer. Can I talk about prayer?
Well, go for it.
And I just want to recommend to everyone out there, there's a lot of course, different ways to pray. I don't know that there really is a better way to pray than spending time with Jesus in the Eucharist at adoration.
Retweet.
I heard a priest say one time that when you go to adoration, it's like spiritual radiation. So you're just being there and just allowing the Lord to penetrate your soul.
Whoa.
Just that physical presence of just being there will benefit you for eternity.
Wow. What did you say? Spiritual radiation, like the sun.
We think, yes. Like you go out in the sun, you don't really see it. You don't see like, ooh, there's the sun entering my skin.
Yeah.
Like but it happens, right? And your skin becomes warm and brown.
Ooh. You get vitamin D.
You get vitamin D.
You get vitamin divinity when you. Oh, booyah! Give me some. Oh, that was awesome.
We should make T-shirts.
So we got the sun, the S-U-N, who gives you vitamin D through radiated light, and then you have the sun, S-O-N, who gives you vitamin
we
divinity.
We just made this up.
Yeah, on the spot.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Okay,
so tell me your history of Eucharistic adoration.
So I think here in Stillwater, you have adoration all the time. We have adoration. Previously we had it. For a 48-hour period at the beginning of the month, kind of an intense time of prayer at the beginning of the month. But during Lent, we are doing it every Wednesday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every Wednesday.
Hot diggity dog.
And so what we have is people have been very generous with signing up to cover hours to come and to spend time with the Lord. And it's just made such a big difference. It's made a difference in our parish. And what we're discussing now is that something that goes beyond Lent?
Every Wednesday throughout the year.
Like every Wednesday throughout the year. And then what I would like us to get to eventually in our forthcoming strategic plan, kind of our mission and vision for Stillwater for the next 10 years, is 24-hour Eucharistic adoration. Can we do that as a parish? And I think we can, but there's a lot that needs to go into it. People, I think, need to be convinced that it's good for them.
Convinced it's good for them and others. It's
yeah.
for
the
so
grace is
poured.
If somebody said, "Well, why would I do take an hour every week? What's the benefit?" What would you say?
Okay, a couple of things. One, just that this is kind of me talking and opening my mouth and thinking all at the same time.
Everyone, get ready. This is Father Kerry talking. Go.
And now. So one, Jesus is there, body, blood, soul, and divinity present in the Eucharist. Why wouldn't you want to hang out with him? He also says,
what else are you doing?
On Holy Thursday, can you not spend 1 hour with me? So Fulton Sheen's got a whole thing on Eucharistic adoration of just spending 1 hour with the Lord. Can you not spend an hour with me? So that. Well, we just made that. What are you receiving? You're receiving his divine presence.
Radiation.
Like John Vianney, he asked this guy one time, he said, what do you do when you go to Eucharistic Adoration in the 1800s? And he said, I look at Jesus and Jesus looks at me. Wow. Okay, that's going on. Also, there's a transfer of divine life that's going on. He's giving us his grace there in the presence because he is present there. Why else? Well, you can bring your intentions to Jesus, just like all the people in the entire scriptures who would bring things to Jesus. They'd bring their sickness and their suffering.
Yes.
They would bring their friends and lower them down to the roof. You can rip open the roof of St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church and bring your friends there and put them in front of Jesus. So those are some things right there. He can heal you if you need healing. All of us need it.
Yeah.
And you sit in front of the Lord and you say, Lord, start healing this. There was a story when I lived in Denver of a dude who was supposed to have heart surgery, and Father, oh my gosh, Pat Lencioni, Father,
not a priest.
What's his name? Lonnie or something like that. Leone, Father Leone. Monsignor Leone was a priest in Denver and told us a story that one of his parishioners was supposed to have heart surgery, and he was sitting in front of Jesus. He would go to Eucharistic Adoration every day, and he asked Jesus to start fixing his heart. And so they cracked his chest open, started working on his heart, and they said there's nothing wrong with his heart.
Oh.
And so the reason why Father Leone knows the story is because the surgeon showed up at his church and said, tell me what's going on here. And he's like, well, tell me what happened.
Miraculous healing.
A miraculous healing. So we're going on our Belgian pilgrimage this year. We're going to Eucharistic miracles throughout Belgium. There's two of them and 2 Marian apparitions. So I think those are some really good reasons why you should spend time with Jesus in the Holy Eucharist, and can you spend an hour with him? And if you can't spend a full hour, maybe you just pit stop in and take a half hour.
Sure.
It can be like
Holy
husband.
half.
You can bring your children with it. In the Diocese of Wichita, who currently has I'm not exaggerating when I say 50 seminarians, right?
I'm not exaggerating. They have 1,000 seminarians. No.
They have about 50 seminarians,
Yep.
and they've ordained 10 priests every couple of years.
10 last year, 10 this year.
Yeah, so that's 20 priests, and they don't
I
even
am
have
jealous.
room for these guys. They don't. Their parishes are full. And I asked some people, why y'all have so many?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I was like, what is it? And every one of them said, we have Eucharistic Adoration in our parishes.
Yep.
Eucharistic Adoration in our parishes. And that they pray for the salvation of people's souls, and they pray for the need for priests.
When I was a boy, when I was in high school, in my parish in Houston, shout out to Saints Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, Friends of Jesus Catholic Church in Kingwood, Texas. We started 24-hour adoration. And I remember at that time, the associate pastor came to youth group. So I was maybe a sophomore in high school. And he said, hey, we're starting this, and I'm expecting you all to take some hours. And we were like, excuse me, Father, we're in high school, and we're really busy. I have student council and basketball practice. I can't possibly take an hour. Anyway, he was like not hearing our excuses. And so as a high schooler, I took a holy hour in the middle of the night. And it changed my life.
What time did you do it?
I was 1 to 2 a.m. on Tuesdays. It changed my life. And I think was a launching point. That and my confirmation, which also took place sophomore year, were these launching points for what then became a vocation to the priesthood.
Mine was in Albany, New York. There was a Franciscan Perpetual Adoration Chapel in a shopping mall, and that's where I used to go and hang out with Jesus. And he really worked on my heart there. Mm-hmm. He did a lot of heart surgery.
Yep,
a lot of brain surgery too. He's like,
keep working, Lord.
How did a Crayola get in here? Keep working, Lord.
Yes, for all of us.
Oh, okay.
I was more talking about me. So
okay.
here's I think is one of the, if we talk about sort of obstacles to adoration, I think a lot of people just think like I can't take a holy hour. I can't sign up for a holy hour. One, because I'm too busy. Okay?
Lame.
And I get that. But there are people busier than you who are doing holy hours.
Yeah.
Two is I don't know what to do when I get there. I'm going to get distracted and bored.
Okay.
And you probably are going to get distracted. Okay, big deal. That doesn't mean you don't pray.
Yeah, Peter fell asleep.
Right? We get distracted while we're driving. That doesn't mean we don't drive, right?
Yeah.
You still do it. I think people say, well, I'll let somebody else do that. Well, I know, at least at St. Francis Xavier, we're a parish of right now not about 900 families. For us to pull this off, if we want to have 24-hour Eucharistic Adoration,
It's going to be...
we need everybody because we're not that big. I mean, it's my parish in Houston, 6,000 families.
What?
6,000 families. And they do pretty good. I mean, they have 24-hour adoration and have for many, many years, and they are able to cover the hours, right? But that's, 7 times more people than us.
Right.
If we're going to pull this off, we're going to need a total team effort. We're going to need teenagers. We're going to need college students want to jump in, but the college students aren't here all the time.
Right.
We're going to need young adults. We're going to need moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, single people,
Elves.
staff, the priests. We're going to need a whole team effort.
I bet you if you get some
to
Keebler
pull
elves,
this off.
you'll get a lot more people showing up.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to eat. You can't eat during.
No, just get some
Adoration.
Keebler elves, and they'll start making some cookies outside, and people will just be showing up.
I would love that.
Yeah, so this is Eucharistic Adoration. It's the Eucharist, they call it the source and summit of the Christian life. It is the august sacrament. It is the life of the church. It's why we what we need as food for the journey.
Yeah, who doesn't want to spend time with Jesus?
Okay, so
Or who doesn't need to spend time with Jesus?
Eucharistic Adoration. Important.
Well, and so I love when adoration is done. So when we say adoration, what we mean is to adore, to go and to sit in his presence and to adore. So some people sit, some people stand, some people kneel, some people lie flat on the ground, prostrate in front of the Lord. But one of the things that we do when the Eucharist is exposed, we use what is called a monstrance, which is I don't know, how would you describe it? It's a large liturgical
piece of metal with a stand.
holder.
Almost like a giant trophy
It's
for
the
Jesus.
holder of Jesus, yeah. But it's meant to be kind of ornate and beautiful.
Yeah.
Some are very simple.
In Spanish, it's a good example. It's called the custodio.
Oh.
Like the custodian,
yeah.
the custodian takes care
Yeah.
of Jesus. It holds.
Well, and monstrance comes from monstrar, which is to show.
Oh,
In
yeah,
Spanish,
that's right.
mostrar, to show. And so it's the way that we show Jesus. And so when adoration takes place, we have what's called exposition, where the Eucharist is exposed. So people can come and see him. If you go to any Catholic church anywhere in the world, any time of day, Jesus is there. He's truly present.
The red light's on.
in the tabernacle. But Eucharistic adoration is a special form of that where the Eucharist is exposed. And so the Eucharist is put onto the altar for all to see. And then typically a hymn is sung. So there's two great Eucharistic hymns. The first one is called the O Salutaris.
Ooh.
And so I just want to read the two verses in English.
Yes.
Of the O Salutaris. So here's kind of the opening hymn. Sometimes when there's exposition, it's
written by who? Who wrote these? And how old are they?
Thomas Aquinas. Yeah.
Yeah, they're written by Thomas
Yeah.
Aquinas. So they're like over 1,000 years old.
So he died, 1274. Okay, so it's called O Saving Victim. O saving victim, opening wide, the gate of heaven to us below.
Oh, nice.
Our foes press on from every side. Your aid supply, your strength bestow. That's verse 1. Verse 2. To your great name be endless praise, immortal Godhead, one in three. O grant us endless length of days when our true native land we see.
O salutaris hostia.
Love it.
Que celibat.
Okay, so then at the end we sing a song called Tantum Ergo.
Tantum ergo. No, That's not the
Tantum
tune.
ergo sacramentum, which means come adore.
Yeah.
Come adore. Okay, so
The
here's the
wondrous
words.
presence.
Come adore this wondrous presence.
Uh-huh.
Bow to Christ, the source of grace. Here is kept the ancient promise of God's earthly dwelling place. Sight is blind before God's glory. Faith alone may see his face.
To the
Okay.
is there another like to the
Uh,
everlasting?
And then the next verse is glory be to God the Father. Genitori genitoque. Praise to his co-equal Son.
Okay.
Adoration to the Spirit. Bond of love in Godhead one. Blessed be God by all creation. Joyously while ages run. Unbelievable. So
And
these
he
two
wrote-
great Eucharistic hymns.
Those I think those were written based on the Eucharistic miracle at Bolsena, which then comes Corpus Christi. I think he was at Orvieto when the miracle occurred, and
Yeah.
there's something about all
Yeah.
that in Bolsena. Okay.
So we want to, especially in this Lenten season, to recommend the practice of adoration, spending time with Jesus.
If somebody says waste time with the Lord,
Oh yeah, just go,
yeah,
and don't worry about when what you're going to do when you get there. I mean, if you want to bring a Bible or bring your journal, or but you don't have to load up a library and walk in. Just go and spend time, and then see what happens. When you go, I mean, similar to when you're going to spend time with good friends. You don't necessarily go into it with a whole bunch of tasks. Okay, hello, friend, and I brought all of these books that I'm going to read in front of you.
our Sunday visitor opened it up and put it.
Yeah, you just go. You spend time with your friend because your friend is worth spending time with,
Right.
and you see what happens. You go out to dinner or you spend time over coffee, and you see what's going on in their life. And so to ask Jesus, tell me about you. And then to let Jesus tell you about him
And about yourself.
and about yourself. It's just, it will change your life. I love when people who do a holy hour, I know I've heard like Adam Minahan, who's a friend of mine in Tulsa, who runs the St. Michael Catholic Radio in Tulsa. And I've heard him say, he does a holy hour at his parish, St. Benedict's in Broken Arrow. He says that it is the best hour of his week. The
Wow.
best hour of his week. And so if somebody could tell you, hey, do you want to have like the best hour of your week? You would say, yeah, where do I sign up?
Eucharistic
You
adoration.
sign up by coming to spend time with the Lord.
And then just stop in.
Yep.
Stop
So
in.
even
and
on your
look-
way into Mass, on your way out of Mass, stop, spend time with Him. So in this Lenten season, where we're trying to grow in holiness, where our goal is to pray more, to fast more, and to give more alms, to be more generous, what better way to pray than to spend time with Him who created you and who loves you?
Yeah, sit down. There's time, talent, and treasure. You sit down with the time that you may not have, and you say, I am going to give time to the good God.
Yep.
And I'm going to do this right here. And then from that,
And you're not too busy.
the sun then gives you a little vitamin D. Divinity.
That's really good. There's
Yes.
there's something there. We gotta.
It's the red dirt on the Riviera that's
gotta
giving me
work.
such awesome wisdom.
We gotta work on that. Yeah, because when you don't get vitamin D, like you get tired.
Yeah.
You
You get depressed
you get all
because what do they call that? What's that, like cloudy syndrome that people seasonal
Melancholy?
SAD, seasonal affective allergy disorder or something like that,
Oh.
inclement weather disorder. Yeah.
vitamin D.
Get some of the Lord.
The SUN gives you vitamin D. The SON gives you vitamin divinity.
Ooh. Booyah.
I can't believe we just made that up. We need a copyright lawyer. Stat.
Well, that's another installment and another 30 minutes of your life.
We're
gone.
grateful you listened, whether on the radio or on the podcast or SoundCloud. Keep listening. Keep spreading the word. Come to Stillwater and visit us. We hope you're having a great Lent, and may God bless you.
God bless you.